I pray. I pray, but I'm still struggling. Does God hear me? I tithe religiously, but I'm still struggling. Does God hear me? And then I read this book and realized maybe I wasn't listening.
Contrary wins. For those who want to give up but need to know greater is coming. Buy now on HeDidNotForgetMe.com.
Want a live interview with Viral Hip Hop News? Email me, Sam Ant at dlsmediainc1@gmail.com. Let's go.
Let's start with this lady, Thalia Graves, who appears to be lying. And then all the people now that are doing interviews, going on national TV now, and what they're saying about Diddy.
I mean, we talked about this. How long have we been talking about this now? Over a year since
Over a year.
Cassie came out and said what she said. And since then, we've seen countless efforts in trying to destroy dude's name. Now, we never came on this platform and said they are tearing down this good brother, this upstanding citizen that always does the right things. Why are they doing this to Diddy? No, we've in fact questioned this man's character. We've questioned his business acumen for years on years. But when we seen this and how it was being laid out, we was like, bro, this don't look right. This looks like they're trying to tear this dude down, because every time you looked at an article, every time you seen a new story, it got more and more ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it just kind of got mopped up into this big-ass pile of nonsense that people actually believed. I got people coming to me, yo, he's done. You see all that baby oil they found up in there? I'm like, what? What are y'all talking? So what? What? Oh, but he did this to a 9-year-old. He did this. All they're doing is reading what people are putting on social media.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we have somebody that has been proven to be lying. Does that mean everybody's lying? No. Does that mean everybody's telling the truth? Hell no. And that's what we need to understand. That's why we need to allow this to play itself out in court. Let's see all the details, everything that they allegedly have. Let's see it all laid out on the table, see what's fact and what's fiction before we go ahead and destroy his name, before we get 2020 specials and movies and documentaries on Tubi just killing this dude and assassinating his character. Because not that we care about Diddy, but if they could do it to a Diddy, if they could do it to a Dr. Cosby, they could do it to you. They could do it to me. They could do it to him. They could do it to anybody. And we need to really focus and pay attention on the facts so that it can't happen to us. But we don't care because we love blood. And I just think this is an example of this is why we got to pay attention and make sure that we let the process play itself out.
Yeah, and I think that once somebody's downfall becomes an entertainment, I think that's when it gets that's when it gets very, very scary. And that's just what it is right now. Like, people are just, they don't want to hear the other side. You can give them proof facts. They don't care. They want the blood. They want the spectacle. They want the Coliseum. They want the gladiators beating each other bloody. And they want to see somebody dead. Yep. And it's sad, man, because we're dealing with humans here. Now, we put the video the other day and people like, oh, y'all, this and that, he's a monster, and there is evidence and all, like whatever. Like, the violin keeps going. You don't know. You wasn't there. You don't know. You're going off of speculation and what people are saying. And now this lady appears to be lying, and I can tell you other people are lying too. Without me even being there and knowing, this is just the way this shit goes. It's a money grab. Now, some of the things, again, there's a possibility that some of this stuff could be true. But I would go out on a limb and say a lot of this shit is false. Even now, his lawyers are, saying that they leaked the Cassie video. This is a strategy being used by the federal government along with other media outlets and whatever, the powers that be, because this is the quintessential definition of the powers that be. When you got the feds against you, media outlets against you, all these different people against you, this is what the powers that be is. And they're going hard body on him. How you going to have a 2020 special? How you going to have a documentary? How you going to have all this shit and he ain't even been convicted yet? It's a difference if he's convicted, he went through the court process, and we got the witnesses on the stand. Like, where are you getting this information from? Right. To even, you what you're doing is you're putting stuff together off speculation, off what somebody put on a deposition. Don't mean it's true. Right. And it's now starting to turn into a witch hunt. Now, I want to kind of transfer to the people. Now, everybody knows him. Everybody was around him. They said he had something to do with killing Biggie. Like, what? Damn. And it's always been speculation and things like that. But where is the proof? Where is the proof? You can't think about, I'll say the great thing about this country, and it's not always full proof, is that they put a court system in place where you're supposed to be able to get to the truth. You could tell your story, that person could tell their story, You can cross-examine them. You can confront your witness. You can put evidence on the table, right? And sometimes if the evidence is not good enough, it can't come into court. So it's a system put in place. Because if it was just up to people's opinions and what people think, it'd be over. Put him on the stake. Yep. He has the opportunity to go. And I don't think it's going to be fair, but it's fairer than people on social media judging him. All speculation.
It's scary. And you know, it's crazy because you've had people that's been talking for years, yet every time a new allegation comes out, they got something new to say. They have this whole new story that came out that they didn't talk about 5, 6, 7 years prior. Hell, they've written books, yet not in these books, but in new information that comes out, they got these brand new stories. And people don't find that shit suspicious. People don't find that shit weird that these people got all these brand new stories and they happen to be putting them up on social media for millions of people to watch. We're in a real life WWE storyline right now. Only these are real lives and real people in play. I'm not saying that Diddy is the poster child for all of us. Not at all. This dude is damn sure done his share of shit. And like we said a couple days ago, if this was anybody else in the situation that Diddy was hugged up with, he'd be just as quiet too. So I'm not absolving him of anything. But the fact that they could just go ahead and create story after story after story, and we, the people, fucking gas it and gas it and gas it and keep it going is a scary combination. I don't know what you said when you first started, but you killed it. What did you say? You said,
it's for when somebody's, downfall becomes our entertainment.
Somebody's downfall becomes our entertainment.
Right.
Damn.
Right.
True life WWE, bro. Well said.
Let's move over to the conversation over to this part, because I think, and we both talked about this before we came on air, it's become now an industry to talk down and destroy people, where people are now taking the highest bidder, whether that be an interviewer, platform, and saying, look, I'll come and say anything to you. Just give me $3,000. Give me $4,000. Give me $2,500. Give me $1,500. I'll spice this shit up for you, my nigga. Whatever you want me to say, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say the most outlandish thing. Just give me a couple of dollars. And if you don't, I'm not rocking with your platform. How do you feel about that dynamic?
We've seen it in its inception, and we've seen how it's grown to turn into the monster it is today. And I'm going to break it down for you how.
Right.
When we first started in the game, and you first kind of schooled me on YouTube, and we first kind of got into the hip-hop game, when we would drop titles and we would entice people to come in based off of things to bring them and intrigue them, to bring them in, that was I don't want to say clickbait because people take that the wrong way. But when you put a title up,
right,
and this is just an advertising, you put a title up for people to come in, to draw them in. Eventually, people caught on to that, but that wasn't good enough anymore. See, putting a salacious title or putting a title to intrigue somebody wasn't good enough anymore. Now, we have to make the content just as ridiculous, if not more.
Word.
No matter if it's true or not. Now we done changed the game, because even in titles, you can kind of question, well, damn, okay, no, that coincides with what they're saying. Now, you can say whatever you can make anything up, and you don't no longer need anything to entice you. The storyline entices you, whether it's true or not. So people go ahead and they want to give these crazy stories, but not only do they have to give these crazy stories, they want to make sure now they're compensated for it. Because with those titles and with those stories came what they perceive as this abundance of compensation that wasn't really there to begin with. But now they want a piece of that pie because I'm telling a lie, I deserve my cut. And you got a situation where we're sitting here today where you can't do an interview with anybody. It don't matter if they the highest A-level celebrity or below F, who the fuck are you? They want some type of compensation for it, and it's diluting the content, it's diluting the integrity of the interview between the interviewer and the interviewee, and it's diluting this culture, man, on when it comes to its respective place in the culture. It's diluting it, man, and
right.
I don't think it's gonna get any better.
Yeah, and it's, we're not necessarily saying that it's bad to pay someone
Not at all.
for an interview, but I just think that you see, we spent all this time building a platform, building it up so you come on, you can, you're gonna get paid in other ways. Like, we may not be able to pay you $5,000 for the interview, but if you're a comedian, people see you get 500,000 views. That's another 50 opportunities or another 100 shows for you. Or another 2 or 3 years that you now touring because people now see you on this big platform. So you done made way more than $5,000. You made $200,000-$300,000 in a couple of years or 1 year because you've been on the platform. But these people want the money up front. It's like, all right, then if I get the money up front, how I'm going to recoup that money? If I'm paying you $5,000, I got to at least hit $500,000 minimum, $300,000 minimum, and that don't always happen.
Minimum.
Would have hit $30,000. Would have hit $100,000. Then I lost my investment. That's neither here nor there, man. That's one subject, one topic. But I think people now are getting a false sense of they're the shit now because they come on like your platform won't be shit without them. Like, no, we appreciate it's one hand wash the other.
Thank you.
But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, everybody can't afford to put those big, $5,000, $10,000 up for interviews. And the people that can, unfortunately, right now are the ones, that are winning. But as you see, everything, I think, returns back to the mean as you start to see it right now. Because eventually, when you're not hot no more, nobody's going to pay that for the interview.
It's no different than you got a show and you doing a show and you want $60,000 for a show.
Right.
But the tour manager goes, well, how are you going to get that $60,000 back? We talked about this a couple of days ago.
Word.
If you're not going to buy, if people aren't going to buy liquor, if they're not going to patronize my business, how am I going to get that $60,000 back than what I paid you?
Plus some.
And I'm looking to get more.
Yeah.
Because I didn't pay you $60,000 to get back $60,000 and make zero. I paid you $60,000 so I can get at least 10, 20 off top of that.
Right.
And I can keep my business going.
Right.
When we do individual business, collective business between our platforms, and we have individual people come and invest with us, we guarantee them or give them a service in return. You just want us to pay you? What kind of fucking shit is that?
Right.
What sense does that make?
Right.
It makes zero sense for the people doing the work. One hand wash the other. This is why it made it so great. Now, if you say, okay, look, if let's do a deal where if you do so and so and so, I get a percentage. Okay, well that's something to talk about because now you've invested. There's something coming back, but y'all just want to get. Let me get 3 racks. Let me get 4 racks. Let me get 5 racks. Who are you?
We'll go out of business like that.
And they don't care about that.
Right.
Because all they care about is giving you nonsense for 5 racks, and it's up to YouTube and whether or not they want to push it or not. Like, nah, bro, you good.
Yeah, and it depends on the time. But see, the thing is, I would say